This is a comprehensive guide to all the Indian MBA entrances that are there. So there are 12 exams that we are going to cover in this particular video. The first exam that we are going to look at is CAT. Now CAT, as we all know, is conducted on the last Sunday of November. It has 66 questions which amount to 198 marks. There are 2 hours that you get to attempt this particular test, and you have 40 minutes per section in which you have to attempt that particular section. There are 2 types of questions that we have here. One is the multiple choice questions, which is 1 question followed by 4 options. And the second question type is the type in the answers questions, which have no options. There are 3 sections which have to be attempted in this order. So the verbal ability and reading comprehension section comes first, followed by the data interpretation and the logical reasoning section, followed by the quantitative ability section. The top colleges through the CAT include all the IIMs that are there, and FMS Delhi, then MDI, SPJIMR, IIFT, all the IITs, IMT, XIMB, IMI, and a lot more. Who should take the test? Everyone who is serious and is considering Indian entrance tests or Indian colleges for their MBA should take the CAT. Going to the next entrance test, this is the XAT that we have. Now XAT is conducted by the Xavier's Association of Management Institutes, or XAMI, and it happens on the first Sunday of January. There are 76 questions that are a part of the XAT, and these are also followed by 25 general knowledge questions, and you also are supposed to write an analytical essay at the end of the test. The entire test consists of 175 minutes for the objective part, followed by 30 minutes for GK plus the analytical essay writing part. There are 3 sections that are a part of the first 76 questions, and these include the verbal ability and logical reasoning section, the decision making section, which is unique to the XAT, and the quantitative ability and data interpretation section. The marking scheme here is +1 and -0.25 for every incorrect answer, considering that there are 5 options per question. And for more than 8 unattempted questions, you will invite a penalty of -0.1 marks per question. The top colleges through this test include XLRI Jamshedpur, XLRI Delhi, XIMB, IMT, TAPME, MICAT, Great Lakes, Somaya, and Goa Institute of Management. Who should take the test? Again, everyone should take the test, and considering that this test does not really have the required mandate of scoring at least a 50% in your graduation, everybody who has average or low ACATs is expected to take this test if they want to do an MBA from an Indian institute. The next test that we are looking at is the NMAT. Now, NMAT is conducted by the GMAT and is primarily used by NMIMS for the admission to their MBA programs. This test is conducted in a window from November to December over a span of 45 days or more. Now, this test is a computer adaptive test, meaning that every test is going to be unique and the level of difficulty of each question is going to be dependent on your response to the previous question. There are 108 questions, 36 questions per section. You get a choice as to how do you want to attempt the sections. So the order of sections is completely up to your discretion, but you have to end the entire test in 120 minutes. These 120 minutes are further split into 3 parts: 28 minutes for the language skills or the verbal ability section, 40 minutes for the logical reasoning section, and 52 minutes for the quantitative skills or maths section. The score ranges from 36 marks to 360 marks, and you are graded on the basis of the highest level of difficulty question that you were able to successfully answer. In terms of the top colleges that exist, NMIMS across campuses, across courses considers the NMAT for admission to their colleges. So NMIMS Mumbai is one of the top colleges that you can get through using the NMAT score. There is also XIMB HR that accepts the NMAT score, followed by TAPME and Somaya. So who should take the test? Someone with an average profile, or someone who is looking at a test as a backup to CAT. Someone who is not very comfortable with the competitiveness of the CAT. Someone who wants to take a test that is adaptive in nature, thereby eliminating the percentile requirements. These people should take the NMAT as a good backup option because NMIMS are one of the best colleges in the country. Coming to the next test, that is the SNAP. SNAP is conducted by the Symbiosis International University for admission into their MBA programs. It is conducted in the month of December, and one can take up to 3 attempts to appear for these tests, and they can use their best score to apply to the Symbiosis group of institutions. There are 60 questions in this test, and you are expected to solve these questions in 60 minutes. The split is in terms of the sections that we have here. 15 questions are from the general English or verbal ability section, 25 questions are from analytical reasoning, and 20 questions are from the quantitative ability section. The marking scheme of the test is +1 for every correct answer and -0.25 for every incorrect answer. The top colleges through the SNAP include SIBM Pune, SCM Pune, SIIB, SIOM, which is a college for operations management, and SIDTM. There are a lot other institutes, but these are the top 5 institutes that we have mentioned here. Now, who should take this test? Anyone who has an average profile, as was the case with NMAT, should take the SNAP as well as a good backup option to the CAT, considering that the level of difficulty of the SNAP is going to be slightly easier compared to the level of difficulty of the CAT. The next test that we are going to look at is the CMAT. Now, CMAT is a test that is conducted in the month of May. There are 100 questions that are a part of CMAT, and the test is worth 400 marks, meaning that each question is worth 4 marks. These 100 questions are divided into 5 sections of 20 questions each, and these sections are QADI, that is quantitative ability and data interpretation, LR, that is logical reasoning, LC, that is language competency, GA, that is general awareness, and innovation and entrepreneurship. The marking scheme is of +4 marks as we observed earlier, and the negative marking is for 1 mark per incorrect answer. The top colleges through the CMAT include JBIMS, which is Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, Sydenham, Pumba, Great Lakes, Wellinger, and a lot more colleges. Who should take the test? This is again a good backup test for people who are specifically looking for Mumbai colleges or colleges from Maharashtra to do their MBA from, and people who have a below average profile and cannot really stand up to the competitiveness of the CAT or the XAT or the NMAT or the SNAP. So we would recommend CMAT to all those people who are looking for a decent college without being extremely competitive in nature. Now, coming to the next test, this is the Maharashtra MBA MMS CET, commonly known as the MH CET. Now, this test is conducted in the month of March. There are 200 questions as a part of this test. There are no sections that are present, and then there is no negative marking. In fact, a fun fact about this test, if you want to get an admission using the MHCET score into any of the top colleges in Mumbai or Maharashtra, you will be able to take the admission without even appearing for a GDPI round. And that is why this test is favored by a lot of aspirants. There are 4 sections into which these 200 questions are broadly divided. There is no number as such in terms of how many questions are there in each of these sections, but you have roughly 50 questions from verbal ability, 25 questions from visual reasoning, which is unique to this test. Quantitative ability contributes to 50 questions, and analytical reasoning will contribute to 75 questions. The top colleges through the MHCET or the MBA MMS MAH CET are going to be JBIMS, SIMSRI, which is Sydenham Institute of Management Studies and Research, Pumba, which is Pune University MBA, and Wellinger. Who should take the test? Mumbai colleges. If anybody is looking for these set of colleges, specifically JBIMS, then you are expected to take this test. If you have an average profile, you want a backup to the main tests, you are scared of the GDPI process, although we would not recommend you to be, because once you get into these colleges and you are looking for placements, you will have to apply for these companies that come on campus, and you will have to be good at the GDPI rounds that are there. But if you are especially scared of participating in the GDPI VAT rounds, then CET could be a good option for you. Coming on to the next test, we are talking about the new entrance that we have here, which is the CUET PG entrance test. This test is conducted in the month of March. You have 75 questions that you need to be solved in 105 minutes. There are 50 questions from QA plus DI plus LR and 25 questions from English that are a part of this particular test. In terms of the top colleges, TIS as of now is one of the best colleges in this country that accepts the CUET, and they are accepting COQP12 as the question paper that is under the CUET. Who should take the test? Someone who is looking at the TIS HRM program or the TIS ODCL, Organization Development Change and Leadership Program, should have a look at this test, because this is a mandatory criterion for someone who wants to pursue these programs. If you look at the next test, that is the MICAT. MICAT is conducted by MICA, which is the Mudra Institute of Communications based at Ahmedabad. This test is conducted twice, once in the month of December, once in the month of January. There are 3 broad parts to this test. One is the psychometric part, the other is the descriptive part, and the third is the objective assessment part. The psychometric part will consist of a lot of questions that you will have to answer on the go, and you will have to choose the options that you think are the closest answers. So this is completely dependent on your response to day-to-day scenarios, and they will try to do a psychometric mapping of your psyche. The second part is the descriptive part, which is again one of the few instances wherein you will be expected to type things. In terms of the descriptive part, you will have to write arguments for a topic, against a topic, you will have to summarize your responses, and you will also have to write a story based on 4 pictures that will be given to you. The third part is the objective part, which consists of 4 sections: divergent convergent thinking, verbal ability, QA and DI, and general awareness. If you wish to get admission into MICA, you will have to take either of the CAT, XAT or GMAT and the MICAT for shortlisting. So there is some weight that is assigned to your CAT/XAT/GMAT score and some weight that is assigned to your MICAT score. Typically this is 20 and 80. So you have to appear for both these parts to be eligible for the shortlisting process. Who should take the test? People who are marketing aspirants and who want to pursue their PGDM from MICA, these people will have to appear for the MICAT. Coming to the next test, this is a lesser known test known as the ATMA. Now ATMA is conducted 4 times a year. There are 3 hours that you get to attempt this test. There are 6 sections and these are timed in nature. You need to invest 30 minutes into each section. The 3 sections that we have are analytical reasoning, verbal skills and quantitative skills, and these sections repeat again, totaling to the 6 sections that we have mentioned. The top colleges that accept the ATMA include Wellinger, Pumba and Christ University. Who should take the test? This is a backup option. So someone who is looking at a backup option to the CAT, XAT, CET, CMAT and so on can appear for the ATMA. And if someone has a CAT percentile less than 70, it is recommended that you take the ATMA as well to improve your chances of getting into private universities. In terms of the next test that we are looking at, it is the MAT or the Management Aptitude Test conducted by the AIMA. This is again conducted 4 times a year. You have 2 hours to take this test and there are 5 sections that are present. These 5 sections are the language section, data analysis and sufficiency section, QA or the quantitative ability section, intelligence and critical reasoning section, and the Indian and global environment section that we have, which is the GK. It is conducted in 3 modes. One is the internet based testing mode, wherein you can take it from your home, PBT, that is the paper based test mode, and CBT is the computer based test mode. You should take the test. People who are looking at backup options to the primary management entrance test should end up taking the MAT as well to improve their options. And those of you who are expecting a CAT percentile of less than 70 should also take the MAT to improve your chances of getting into the top colleges which accept the MAT. Looking at the penultimate test that we are going to cover is the X-GMT. Now, X-GMT is conducted by the XIM University, so Xavier's Institute of Management. In addition to considering the CAT, the XAT also considers the X-GMT. This test consists of 4 sections to be solved in 120 minutes and the testing ranges from 100 marks to 125 marks from year to year. There is a sectional time limit that is there and there is a marking scheme of +1 for every correct answer and -1/3 for every incorrect answer. Who should take the test? Anyone who is aspiring to get into XIMB but is not able to get the score that is required from the CAT or the XAT should take the X-GMT to improve their chances of getting into XIMB. And finally, we are also covering the GMAT, which is slightly tangential to our discussion because GMAT is accepted by a lot of global universities and institutes for their prestigious MBA programs. But in the Indian context, if you look at it, GMAT is conducted throughout the year. It is a computer adaptive test, meaning that like the NMAT, which is also conducted by the GMAT, you will be able to answer questions based on your comfort, and depending on your response to a particular question, the level of difficulty of the next question will be ascertained. There are 3 broad sections into which GMAT is divided. One is the verbal section, which has 21 questions to be attempted in 45 minutes. Quant section, which has 23 questions to be attempted in 45 minutes again, and the data insights section, which again has 20 questions and has to be attempted in 45 minutes. The top colleges that accept the GMAT include ISB, SPJMR, XLRI, IIMs for their executive programs, and a lot more global institutes. So who should take the test? Aspirants who are targeting global options along with ISB and who intend to go for MBA programs with more than 2 years of work experience are required to take the GMAT because that gives you an opportunity to apply to a lot of top B schools overall throughout the world. I hope this handbook of MBA entrances has been helpful to you. If you like this particular content, make sure that you leave a like below, subscribe to this channel and share this video with anyone whom you think is an MBA aspirant and would benefit from this particular video.